CivicLex is a unique organization based in Lexington, Kentucky that helps people understand how to get involved in local government, helps local government connect with residents, and is building a stronger culture of civic health here in our community.
CivicLex is getting at the issues.
What is so unique is the way that it distills information.
CivicLex was changing things for me in my life.
CivicLex is going to have a lasting impact on our community at large.
We're celebrating 5 years because as a startup, sometimes it can be challenging to make it for your first 5 years. We've made it this far, and we're really excited to see how we're going to grow over the next 5 years. You can think of CivicLex like a toolbox for strengthening the civic health of our community. We do a number of things to get residents more engaged in civic life here in Lexington and to make that experience more rewarding. So we cover City Hall like a local news organization. We are in every single public meeting, providing free reporting to the community. We also bring people together in person, in workshops and events to help them meet each other, understand each other's perspectives, and hopefully find opportunities to engage in local government and other civic institutions here in our community. We run a K-12 program that helps young folks understand how they can make a civic impact through local government and through getting involved in local nonprofits. And we also do work with local government to make it easier for residents to engage. We are working to make this a community in which every single resident can have the opportunity to shape what the future of their community looks like.
CivicLex has helped me connect to community by simply just giving me the information in a way that I can actually chew on it and swallow it. Once I started to learn more about CivicLex, it wasn't just a newsletter. It's about how they bring the people together and then the intention about how they bring people together.
We've learned that providing information isn't enough. We also need to look at the processes that people actually use to engage and see what we can do to strengthen those processes.
They did this big old program called On the Table where they actively reached out to local organizations and all the constituents across the city to gauge their opinions about how our government works. And that directly affected policy.
CivicLex does a really good job consolidating all the information from the On the Table events and then packaging that up and sharing that with the city and other community members, other leadership members throughout the community.
We really want to make sure that residents know who they can talk to and know that the people that they're talking to are people just like them, because that is the foundation of a healthy civic fabric.
I've noticed that our residents are a lot more informed about the work of local government thanks to CivicLex. Not only do I read the newsletter, but I can tell when my residents have done the same. They write to me in a knowledgeable way about local issues. They share their input at key times in the legislative process, and they ask informed questions. It helps them engage with local government in a knowledgeable, practical, and considerate way.
When you're communicating with constituents and really want to try to give them an opportunity to understand what we're talking about, the decisions that we're making and the process that we go through to arrive at those decisions, CivicLex is one of the best resources that really getting down to the nitty-gritty and breaking down some of the complex processes and language to something that's really understandable by everyday folks.
We are seeing students and teachers getting engaged at the local level. Students, for one, are realizing they don't necessarily have to be an adult or have to be at voting age to amplify their voice. And CivicLex is not only allowing them to amplify that voice, but actually connect them with community organizations and government leaders in our community.
Working with students is a very big part of what CivicLex is focused on right now. We are informing and making children who are going to become voters and decision makers be really cued into what's happening, how it affects their lives, and decisions that add to how we live as a city.
The impact is far-reaching.
CivicLex makes impact in Lexington in so many ways. It's from initiatives like On the Table, partnering with the community foundations and others. And of course, nobody does what CivicLex does, which is really help connect everyday residents of Lexington to city government in really powerful ways.
And we are brave, and we are strong, and we are wonderful. And so our voices need to be heard.
When you're involved in environmental activism or any kind of activism, often you have to storm the ramparts of City Hall. Well, what CivicLex does for us is essentially okay, here's where the door is, here's how the doorknob works, and here's a floor plan to go talk to who you need to talk to. We still have that responsibility to make our case and make our points, but they give us the background information that we can be effective at doing that.
CivicLex opens up our government, invites citizens in to help co-design and co-implement solutions to everyday civic challenges. That is fun.
Over the past 5 years, we've been focusing a lot on local government, and that's not going to stop. But over the next 5 years, we're really interested in helping residents understand the other civic institutions in our community and their options for engaging. And that means we need to really strengthen the work that we're doing every day to get residents more involved in civic life. Thank you to everyone that has gotten more civically engaged over the past 5 years. And of course, a big thank you to all of the people that make CivicLex possible.